Hey there folks, Comics Gatekeeper here, back with the boys. This is Omnibus 5 and this is part 2. Let's start with Barbary Coast. What's the matter, boy? Nobody ever told you to shut your damn mouth before? Deal with your bleatings one at a time. Yes, I set the whole thing up. What I didn't do was get your friend involved in trafficking narcotics, or lead Big Bobby into the middle of it all. I did it to see how you could cope. Why I was there as all was because Mother's Milk called me. I'm not a sweet old English gentleman. I'm Gregory Mallory, late of the 3rd Armoured. Pleased to meet you. Well, good accent. I worked with a lot of your intelligence people after the war. I did them better than they did me. All Brits think Yank accents are easy, but they're shite. You wanted to see how I'd cope? How did I cope? Smuggling operations done, with the Russian vessels intercepted by the Royal Navy. Which means all the principals are now in custody. On the other hand, you blundered into the middle of it all, gave yourself away. You didn't have a plan. You got one man badly injured. That is what happens when you take people to war. But ultimately you lost your temper and went straight at your opponent. If it hadn't been for the bird, he could have shot you dead. All in all, I'd say about a C-. And another thing, Tupper killed your friend. You had him at your mercy. You could have snapped his neck and walked away scot-free. You've got no instinct for it. You better work on that. Damn. I don't want to get better at killing folk. You should at least try to get better at something. How long were you seeing that girl before you realised who she was? Eyes on that Starlight. I'm trying to keep her out of this for now. Oh, is he talking to her at Golden Gate Bridge? Is he talking to her? What the heck? It's not. No, he's been lying too. That's what they're discussing. The fact that he kept everything from her as well. I mean, he sucked a lot less dick, but he's definitely been lying too. It's nice here. I like this whole coastline. I've seen it when I was driving down this morning. It's the edge of the known world. Next stop, Japan. I always like the idea of moving out here. You can't go any further. Like with the pioneers and the wagons and their horses. You've seen everything the country has to offer. This is a good place to finish up as any. Do you not fancy the city? I'm done with cities. They complicate, compromise and intrigue against you. Even something in their nature, their history, makes you less than what you are. Well, I fucking meant to that, Colonel. I'm 91 years old. No fucking way. Wait, is it the V? Does that mean all of us are, Yes. Don't get excited. It's not eternal life exactly. It feels more like taxidermy, if the truth be told. You'll get more years than you would have done, and you won't look your age. But in the end, you'll feel it. Pickled was the word Vogelbaum used to use. I walked away from the boys for one very specific reason. Getting involved again is not something I'll do lightly. But you see how we're already avoiding the subject. Butcher. I'm afraid of what might be, Hughie. Now what? That is, I don't know. When I first heard his name, looking for muscle. But he was that plus brains. And he spent the next 15 years getting much smarter. Learning, watching, how to use the machinery. Can't tell you that much about the man. You haven't figured out already. Once I've told you, you can draw your own conclusions. It was the last winter of the war. Remember how crisp and clear a morning it was. Sky was flawless. It was cold, but it wouldn't be long before it snowed again. We were the 6th Battalion, 36th Armoured Regiment, 3rd Division. What it usually meant was 300 men riding 60 tanks, plus support personnel. We were sent into a quiet part of the line, to try and make good our losses from the previous 6 months. I think we were actually across the German border, but there was fighting all to the north and south. At last we had a chance to re-equip, to train replacements. God knows we needed it. I was a captain, or executive officer to the battalion, and I loved it. I was ambivalent about the army. I didn't feel like I was taking part in any crusade. But the men cheerfully would have walked through hell for me. The new tanks we were given were supposed to even things up. Wait, are these voight tanks by any chance? What's the verdict? Same tank, new gun. Optics seem okay. We won't know for sure till we mark out a range and start bore sighting. Good armor penetration? Book says so, but it has a shitty high explosive shell. Only about half the bang of the old one. Doesn't fire white phosphorus at all. How are we supposed to mark targets? Or fry nests of krauts alive? I don't know. We use that stuff for everything. What the hell were they thinking? Captain Mallory, the Colonel wants to see you. Why does nobody ever ask the soldiers about this stuff? What we got? The Colonel was a lion in combat, and a pussy in all of the circumstances. I'd seen him lead charges into the mouths of German guns, pull injured men out of burning tanks, then bend over for whatever general had allowed that suicidal attack to happen in the first place. He'd fight the enemy, but he just wouldn't fight for us. Morning, Greg. Like some coffee? Senator Bush. Oh, that cunt. Prescott Sheldon. Voight American Consolidated. Oh, you people used to make our boots. Imagine they were shit boots. Oh, they're going to attach special soldiers to the unit for trials. My Christ. I'm guessing Mr. Newman's company's behind the Miracle Men. I've just been wondering when a United States Senator fits into the picture. You might say Mr. Newman's champion on Capitol Hill. Not everyone looks to the future the way we do. And here's what he sees behind the curtain. A bunch of douche nozzles in stupid outfits. Is this a joke? Wait a minute, the legend said something about it. He told me Voight had a go at using soups in the war. They couldn't have picked a worse time for it if they'd tried. I said it was a quiet sector, and it had been. Forest was supposed to be a bad tank country to begin with. The Germans were generally reckoned to be exhausted. No one was expecting trouble in the Ardennes in that winter. All that means is we forgot who we were up against, and they were just about to remind us. It was the 16th of December, 1944, start of Operation Autumn Mist. The Battle of the Bulge was on its way.